Click on one of our Stay Cool ads at kcaaradio.com. KCAA, where every day is a great day.
Welcome to U-Turn Radio. Here at U-Turn Radio, we believe in big-hearted communities and small government. Join your hosts, Nadia Renner, Tom Murphy, and Eric Steinman, as we work to put local governments on a diet and champion the charities that support your community. So come on, join us and let's turn it around.
Welcome to U-Turn Radio. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. I love this weather. Can I just say that it was getting too hot for me for a little bit, but this weather's just so perfect outside. So I am enjoying the weather. We have Tom live today. Eric is not joining us, but Tom is live and direct. We have a great show today.
And I'm joining you in like the new T-shirt.
For some weird reason, I know this is radio, but Tom and I happen to always wear same colors, same color T-shirts every Sunday. We don't plan it; it just happens.
It's a little frightening.
Just a little bit. We show up to interviews and meetings, and we're dressed the same.
I would like it to stop.
Just a little bit, right, Tom? Before we get started, I definitely want to shout out House of Ruth. We went and attended their event this past week. It was a great event for a great cause, Run for Ruth. If you guys want to donate money to that charity, it was just such a great way of like learning. House of Ruth is a domestic violence awareness organization, and it was so good to go live and see it. Darren and I went and supported them, and it was great. So I want to definitely shout out Pat Bell and Hannah, who invited us and had us there, and it was just such a great event that they had. So I wanted to say that before we get started. But we have a really, really good show talking about charities. We have Josiah Bruni from Music Changing Lives. It's another organization here in the Inland Empire. Welcome to U-Turn Radio.
Thank you so much, Nadia and Tom, for having us.
We're so excited to have you here because you've done so much here in our community. So before we get started, I just want to make sure if this is the first time you're listening to U-Turn Radio, we donate money to local charities here in the Inland Empire. You just have to call 909-792-5222. That's 909-792-5222. And we would love to spin the wheel for you guys, and we'll donate those funds to your favorite charity here in the Inland Empire. Or if you work at one, you can just let us know what you guys do, and we'll definitely do the same for you guys.
Yeah, it's fun because we have kind of a two-handed mission with the show. One is big-hearted communities and small governments, and we spend about every 4 shows we talk about government, small government, what we think is important there. But all of us really enjoy kind of the one show we do every 3 or 4 where it's like, okay, let's talk about big-hearted communities, and let's bring somebody like Josiah in and have him get a chance to tell what he does that's big-hearted, and it's in the local Inland Empire area.
And I commend you guys for what you're doing. There should be more DJs doing that. So all you DJs out there that have power to help us local charities, reach out and do so, like U-Turn Radio.
Oh, thank you so much. So let's talk a little bit about Music Changing Lives. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing music, art, and it's a tutoring program in America's public schools and community centers while raising awareness about the importance of enrichment programs as part of each child's comprehensive education and lifestyle. Yes. That's a lot. That's amazing.
That is a mouthful.
It is. But so you funded this. So before we start about how you funded, let's get to know you a little bit. Where'd you grow up?
So originally grew up in Altadena, California. And then at one time, let's be real, I was expelled from all of LA County. And I had to move out here to the Inland Empire. So shout out to my mama. I love you. You see, I turned it around like U-Turn Radio. So yeah, started in Altadena, and I just was really in a position where you either had to do sports or gangbang, really. It was a bad position in the 80s growing up there. And I found music as my outlet, and that's what kind of saved my life. And so after that, I just kept running with it. And then one day woke up and said, I have to teach this to other kids that are in my situation that may be looking for a way out other than just sports or, music and other things like that too.
When you say you found music, what do you mean by that? Like, how did you find it? What was your upbringing like?
Well, my upbringing was loving. I mean, we really grew up in a loving home. My mom, my dad, everybody was real loving. but the streets were challenging. Like
Right.
you would be, there was a lot of peer pressure on the streets, and so some of those issues that you would be found with like kids taking your lunch card. Like back in the day, we used to have a lunch card, and if you lost that lunch card, you didn't eat for the month. And so one day I was like, look, I ain't losing my lunch card no more. And you had to stand up for yourself. So those were some of the issues you would be up against in schools.
So you grew up and you're like, did you have siblings? Did you have brothers?
Oh,
growing up?
yeah. I'm one of 5 in my mom's side, and then, one of 4, sorry, on my mom's side, and then the 5th of 10 on my father's side.
Okay,
So,
big family.
yeah, on one side you had to be the leader. Yeah, right. And then the other side you had to be the follower. So I said that's how I'm good at collaboration.
So how was that?
That's really interesting. I'm 9th of 10.
Okay.
It was the same parents, if you will. So I'm tailing Charlie. I just follow along, do what everybody tells me to do.
Yeah.
I thought I came from a big family. I only have 3 sisters, but you guys really come from a big family.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and with siblings, speaking of siblings, they have a lot of influence on your lifestyle and what you do, especially where you fall, if you're like that middle child, if you're the older, if you're the younger.
Yeah.
So how was that even like with school? Because I went to school with my sisters, and it was perfect. Like I knew I wasn't getting punked because my sisters kind of looked out for me, so it was like perfect for me, kind of.
Yeah, and that's how I was on the older side. So like my younger siblings were always like, my big brother has my back. Like nobody's ever gonna mess with me. And then vice versa, I was always like, my older brothers have my back. Nobody's gonna mess with me. So we really never had friends that much. It was like our family was our friendship, and we were really tight. That was the blessed part. And as brothers, my older brother Juan G, he set the tempo really for us, becoming an entrepreneur of the family, and started us in the music business early, because my dad was a trucker at the time, and nobody wanted to follow that business model.
Right.
And so shout out to Juan. Thank you, brother, for changing the model, because it would have been like truckers changing lives or something. But yeah, so it was good.
So then your brother starts in the music industry. He was a rapper, right?
Yeah.
So did you guys like music from before? Like were your parents involved in music, or was it something that he kind of just started and you guys kind of just went with what he was doing?
Yeah, Pops was really just an entrepreneur. He had his own trucking company. Literally, he had about 18 trucks, and he built a lot of these freeways here with Corona Clay and Jerry DeLeo, and so that was his deal. But my older brother was like, I want to be a musician, and he brought that to the family. And he actually gave us all jobs, literally. He was like, okay, you're going to be the promoter, you're going to be the producer, and you're just going to teach us all how to sign our names to the sisters.
Okay.
Like literally. So like my sisters would be teaching us how to write properly. Shout out to Barbara, I remember your baby, and Tasha. Like they would teach us how to dress, you know, like they'd be like, look, y'all don't look good in that, switch it up. So it was a really like the Jackson 14, literally. But yeah, so it was real loving.
I think it's so funny how older siblings always just give you the role. Like you have no chance of picking anything. It's like, no, you're going to do this. So what was your role in this case?
Mine was promoter, and so it was good. It fit me well. I love to talk to people, and then I would get to go everywhere with my pops, and I already did that. I would love going trucking with him, and so we were in charge of the street team. So at one time, I had like 20 trucks that were wrapped with a decal, and I had like 4 guys in each truck, and we would just go out selling our CDs in front of movie theaters, in front of Walmarts. I mean, anywhere literally they would let us stay. Even if they didn't, we'd pop up and make money for 20, 30 minutes and then get kicked out.
Is that like more of a hustler, like entrepreneur spirit, like where you just figured out, let me do this? Or was there something that you're like, or did you have a mentor that you were like, I'm gonna follow what they're doing? How did you come across like trying to do that promoting on your own pretty much, or for your brother? Well,
my brother set up the model. We just really followed it. He always wanted to be independent, and then he never really wanted to sign to a label. He was like, we can own 100% of this. He had learned the model from DJ Quick at the time, who was his mentor. And so once he came back with it, we just followed it, and it just took fire. And I just loved it because and like I said, in the streets we grew up in, there was a lot of people that would teach you negative peer pressure,
Right.
like how to sell dope, how to do wrong things. So once we learned how to make legal money and do it on our own and really ball and not be worried about like the police or nobody like that, it just was like, I'm running with this. Let's go. And we haven't worked for anyone ever since.
That's awesome. So you started as a promoter. Did you ever get into the music industry working like with other artists? Because I know you've worked with Master P, was it, and
Yeah.
Ice Cube?
Yeah, so like not work with them directly, but I promoted their albums.
Okay.
I was big with this guy, Art Gibson, and he was the guy for like Priority Records. James White, too, was one of the big executives that I worked under at Priority, and they had all of those albums and catalogs. And so I got to be the first one to get out there and promote it. And I was the Inland Empire Street Team guy for them, and they would handle LA. And so I brought a lot of the artists to the Inland Empire that basically never, would have come here otherwise.
Right, right. Oh, that's amazing. So then how did you go from being independent and saying, hey, especially to a record label, because I think back then it was like a little harder.
Yeah.
Now I feel like you know somebody, or you can reach out to people through social media. There's different ways now of like getting in contact with people before, and especially with record labels. How did you make that transition where it's you're doing it for yourself and now you're reaching out and now you're doing it in the Inland Empire, where, I mean, it's not too far from LA, so
Right.
that was like a great strategy.
Right, great question. So basically how it started for me is, like I said, I started promoting my older brother, then I started promoting other artists, and I seen the industry in the light of, okay, you can be making a lot of noise and selling a lot of records, but wake up broke. And that led me to ask, like, what's wrong with that picture, you know? And so I started studying the business, and then I learned the business, and I learned that intellectual properties and your royalties are your biggest piece of the music, not really the shows. The shows are good money, but
Yeah.
the long life and long longevity of a project is owning that intellectual property of it. And so then that's what I really set out to do, is to teach musicians how to own 100% of their intellectual property and then negotiate from with the labels.
That's great. One of the emphasis is really of the show and the way you approach things is just that importance of independent and freedom in terms of whatever you want to do, be it politics or economics. And it's interesting that you kind of saw that and said, "Hey, I'm going to keep a hold, if you will, of the whole pie here instead of, if you will, not sell my soul, but, go to work for the man,
That's it. Sell
whatever,
your
however
soul.
you want to say it."
You're selling your soul to the man. Y'all know. And so it's a real factor. And that's where we wanted to change the game. And that was the first name of the company. So funny. I had named it Change the Game. And then DJ Quick came out with Change the Game and just blew that up. And I was like, oh, jeez. Like, I got to change the name of my company now so he doesn't think I'm riding his coattail.
Okay.
But it turned out to be good, because then that's when I came up with the name Music Changing Lives.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
so you're doing this. Can we say like your brother maybe was your mentor, that transition into you saying like, I want to mentor other people?
Yeah, he
that how that
was, and
worked
so
out?
many other people were too. I mean, that like me, like literally, I was birthed from, I want to say 1,000 individuals. Like I have 1,000 moms out there, literally.
Yeah.
And so my brother was that one beacon of light that showed me you can own something and then sell it and make money from it. So that was like, it gave me my reality check of, okay, why aren't these other artists doing the same thing? And then
Right.
you would realize, and then once working in with like James White and Art Gibson, like I said, it taught me the real business, like the contracts. I got to see what was really going on. And then I learned words like perpetuity. Like, have you guys ever heard of that word? That's like for the life of you. Like, even after you die, we own you. And so I learned things like that working with those guys. And then it just kept firing me up. And then there was individuals like, oh my God, Myron. I mean, he was my first real job, like working as a janitor, right? And that was like working and trying to pay these bills. And he had me cleaning toilets. And I just was like, man, I don't want to clean these toilets. He was like, you need to pay them tickets, right? He's like, well, clean them toilets until you can do what you want to do. And then now we're still friends today. And his father owned their own janitorial company. And so it was individuals like that I was like, wow, if your father can own a janitorial service and live like how he was living, I was like, I could do something good too on my own, And so there's several mentors that showed me the light.
Right. So then you become one, and you started with like in your garage. You had a studio in your garage. Is that how that worked out?
Well, it wasn't really a garage, so it was a $500,000 home I bought in Moreno Valley at the time, and it was like at a point to where I turned a whole bedroom into a studio. And then after that, after we turned the studio into like a real studio in my home, my mom came and seen what I was doing, and she was like, "Kid, you're not the federal government. What are you doing? You got to get this out of your home." And I was like, "Nah, Mom, it's good. I got all the kids in the neighborhood getting off the streets. They come record XYZ." Next week, a guy comes in and has like the whole SWAT team following him, literally from a domestic violence issue. And I seen that Mom was right. I'm not the federal government, and I can't solve everybody's problems. And I closed the house and then start looking for a building to buy. At that time, I went to EDD here, and it was right off of Colton Boulevard in Redlands. And thank God I met that lady. I was walking through the building, and she was like, "What do you want to do, 26, and buy a $5 million building that the government is selling? Like we don't even want it anymore." And I told her my dream, and her son had a program in her garage. Well, he was just really producing, and she was trying to get him out the garage. And she was like, "If I teach you how to partner with cities, will you do it?" And bless her heart, I was like, yes.
Oh, wow.
And she taught me how to go and create independent contracts, and that was the first building that I got in Redlands.
That's a great story. That's kind of like when things are meant to be. That's just when those things just happen,
Right.
How about we go to the phone? We have a phone call.
That's what's up. What's up, y'all? Music channel.
Hello, welcome to U-Turn Radio.
Caller, you still there?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Could you hear me okay?
Okay, we could hear you. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, this is Ronnie from Arizona.
Hi, Ronnie.
This is Spanish for a change. Hi, how you guys doing?
Woo woo! What's up, Ronnie? How you doing?
Fine. How is everybody?
Good.
We're great. Do you happen to know Josiah by any chance?
I do, actually.
Have you worked with their organization, or have you done anything with Music Changing Lives?
Well, I met Josiah back in June of this year. I actually have a nonprofit myself, which is called Sisters Fighting for Change. We're actually located there in California and also here in Arizona, where I currently live. And he was the very first person that I actually reached out to in regards to, like, how to run a nonprofit, things like that, things you need to know behind the wheel of things before getting up and started. And he basically, like, right away reached out and gave me some pointers of things to do, and I followed through with those things, and I had my own, successful backpack events in both states, and then I just started working and doing other stuff with the government and things like that. And he just seen how fast that I was moving here, with the things that he was mentoring me about, and he was like, hey, he gave me this good idea, like, why we want to do something together, So, which I thought was a great thing, and I thought the whole Music Changing Lives program was a great, wonderful thing there back in our home state. So I was like, why don't we do something like that here in Arizona, which is, we don't have anything here. Similar things, but nothing of that magnitude here going on in this state. So, yeah, we actually partnered up to do something great in the next year here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Arizona.
Yeah.
So you guys are working together to now, like, start it in different states as well, not just here in California, so more kids can get these opportunities. Right. That's amazing.
Right.
Yes.
And the
awesome.
blessed part is, like, I met her all off of Facebook, literally.
Off Facebook,
and she called me one day, and she was like, yo, I need da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And I was like, who is this? And she was like, let me back up. She was like, my name is Ronnie, da-da-da-da, I'm doing this. And then I just researched her, and I was like, okay, I have this thing where I say I love to fast track people. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I'm going to fast track you. I said, but don't be scared. I said, it's going to go quick. You're going to see a real, movement of change if you do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And she did everything I told her to do, and she's taking flight now.
That's amazing. That's what I'm talking about. Like, with social media, I think you could, like, really make an impact when you're using it correctly.
Right. I was thinking
and the fact that
morning,
you guys had that connection and are now taking it to another state is amazing for sure.
Yes. Shout out to Ronnie.
Yes,
Thank you,
awesome.
Sisters Fighting for Change.
Yeah, watch out for us there. We'll have our next event in the city of San Bernardino for Christmas, December 15th. It'll be at Garden Side Barber Shop there in San Bernardino.
What date is that?
December 15th, Saturday, December 15th. It'll be from 12 to 3, and it'll be at Garden 5 Barbershop off of Highland in San Bernardino.
Okay, I'll definitely get your information off the air. So then I could get that information and we could definitely either have you back on and talk about it a little bit more and put it on our social media.
Yeah,
Perfect.
absolutely.
That'll work.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And it's great meeting Josiah. We like partners now, for real.
That's
And the
what's
things
up.
we're trying to change. So he's music changing lives, and mine, the sister's fighting for a change. So it's kind of like, it makes all sense.
Yeah.
That's amazing. We're definitely...
Yeah.
Hey, Ronnie, before you go, 2 words. I'm gonna do something here with you, and then once we finish that, stay on the line, and Joe, our trusty engineer, I'll take some of your information. But one of the things we do is we have a little spin the wheel for charity, and any caller that calls in, we spin the wheel, and wherever it lands, we will donate on behalf of you to your favorite local charity. So if you hold on just a minute, let me hit this button.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Let me get my line going.
And let's see, I got to put on my glasses. Let's see. Looks like we got 1,400.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow. Look at these.
So
That is so awesome. I
So-
mean, who's my selection?
absolutely. And like I said, if you would just stay in the line there, and Joe will take your number.
So I'm
and that type of
assuming
thing.
she'll probably use it for your charity, right? Sister Changing... What is it? Sisters...
Yes, Sisters Fighting for Change.
Fighting for
yes,
Change.
we can definitely use it as well.
Nice. So, yeah, definitely stay on the line. We'll get your information, then we'll connect all that stuff. Thank you so much for calling, and thank you for sharing your story, how you met Josiah. That's a beautiful thing that you guys are definitely working together and making this difference.
Yes, and I appreciate the nice words. It's all about community partnership and collaboration to make a great impact on the lives of our, youth here in our community. So
Okay.
thank you guys for the opportunity. Nice speaking with you all.
Likewise, Ronnie. Have a great Sunday. Thank you.
You too.
That's what's
Thank
up.
you.
I love that. You guys at YouTune Radio, you guys are amazing. I want to help
thank
blow
you.
this up.
Thank you. We have another caller. So let's go to the second line before we keep interviewing Josiah Brunny from Music Changing Lives. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to U-Turn.
Hi, my name is Jessica Bruni. I'm actually Josiah's little sister. I'm calling in to speak to you guys today.
Oh, that's so cute. We were just asking about siblings.
I was like, hold up, let me let them know we're here.
That is so cute.
For real.
Now that I have the sister on the phone, tell us something about your brother that you. I'm gonna do two questions. You can share something embarrassing about your brother, so we could get to. It's all family
Josiah's
here.
good. I want to take away.
She's like, let me tap out, and then we could share something that inspires you from your brother.
All right, totally. I'll definitely start with the inspirational one. From Josiah being my older brother, he's definitely been there for me as a male figure in my life, my whole entire life. Thank you very much for the lessons. Like you said, we don't have a lot of friends, the ones we do choose, but our family, we're just so close. And I was just able to grow up and learn so much from him now. I could definitely say I'm on his team right now. We're working for MCL and definitely want to get it out there to individuals that want to change their lives around. My brother is definitely helping so many people around, just from everybody he's touched and talked to. I just definitely think that music changing lives can become bigger and better. And I just hope that people also believe in our vision and our mission and can see the change, And I just want to say thank you, Josiah, for everything, and I believe in you. And
Love you. Don't get me to crying in here, girl.
That is so sweet.
yeah, okay, now I'll talk about the embarrassing thing. My brother is very emotional. He'll cry. I'm sending him messages, and he's like, "Oh, you made me cry," and I'm just like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
So I guess that's really the embarrassing thing. So.
That's so cute. That is really, really cute. I don't think my sisters would be.
Joe, no more family members.
No more.
I love you, baby. Love you.
I love you too, V.
Josiah said that he gave up his his cruise today. He'll cruise his car around on Sunday afternoons, and he's with his buddies, and his buddies are probably listening to this. That's like a weeper.
They're probably like, that's why he's telling us that he's gonna come late to talk about this part here.
Nah, they know it. I show it well. Like if I'm in a good state and we see like real joy happening, like for Sisters Fighting for Change to just get 1,400, that's huge, and
that's
to like
amazing.
see that lady like what she's done and like what we've done, like we just thank you guys, really.
Shout out to Connie.
Yeah, so those are the things that do touch me, because I have the saying, I love to enjoy every little thing, because those are what makes the long journey really worth it. I've been doing this 20 years, so it's
Right.
A lot of things you haven't seen or heard, behind the scenes that, takes a person to get here. And
Right.
so those are the things that it does touch your heart. So shout out to you guys. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, sister, for calling in and sharing that beautiful message about your brother. And embarrassing a little bit, too.
It would have been embarrassing if you would have really started crying.
I am, fool. Get off the radio. I got to get tough again.
Well, you guys take care. You guys enjoy this Sunday. Stay blessed, guys. Music changing lives. We're taking over.
And just be you.
Yes, and just be you. JBU coming soon.
Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday, and thank you for calling in. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. So we're going to go into commercial break, and then we're going to come back with Josiah Bruni from Music Changing Lives here on U-Turn Radio.
U-Turn Radio. Love y'all.
We'll be right back to U-Turn after this commercial break. Don't go away.
The Humane Society of San Bernardino Valley, protecting animals for more than 4 decades. The Humane Society's mission is to prevent cruelty and neglect to animals and to provide for the health and well-being of animals with an emphasis on spay or neuter programs to prevent pet overpopulation. Visit the Humane Society of San Bernardino Valley for your pet's medical needs, 909-386-1400, or visit hssbv.org. The Humane Society of San Bernardino Valley, a leading nonprofit organization in caring for all animals in need. The House of Ruth has been providing life-saving domestic violence services since 1977. Participation in House of Ruth programming is open to all battered women, men, and children. Domestic violence is a public health issue. 1 in 4 women are abused by their partner, and it's 1 in 7 for men. Even 1 in 3 teens are exposed to dating violence in their relationships. If you or someone you know needs help or support, House of Ruth can help. Call the House of Ruth 24-hour crisis hotline, 877-988-5559, or visit their website, houseofruthinc.org. Support the San Bernardino City Mission. Your donations help feed the hungry, provide used clothing for low-income families, provide access to housing and rehabilitation for the homeless, and help all who come to them for help. The mission provides a personalized assistance program for homeless men and homeless women and children. They help get less fortunate off the streets, place them in safe shelters, and get them back on their feet. Last month, the community helped provide over 7,400 meals and provided nearly 2,000 pieces of clothing, as well as almost 180 hygiene kits, which were provided for the needy. San Bernardino City Mission goes above and beyond, though, providing personal counsel, prayer, and a devotion time to encourage those in need in their spiritual life. So listen up, everyone. For a donation of just $1.57, you can feed a hungry person right here in San Bernardino. $15.70 will feed 10 people, and $157 will feed 100 hurting men, women, and children. If you're interested in helping and want to know more additional information, you can go to sanbernardinocitymission.org or call 909-649-0011. 909-649-0011. The San Bernardino City Mission, feeding the hungry, helping the homeless. That number again, 909-649-0011. Or visit them online, sanbernardinocitymission.org.
Tom, Nadia, and Eric are back with more only on the U-Turn Radio Show right here on KCAA.
Welcome back to U-Turn Radio. We have Josiah Bruni from Music Changing Lives in the studio. We changed it up a little bit. Usually we cover a lot of political stuff here on U-Turn. We covered a lot of fire.
Yeah, we've been
topics.
really addressing the fire, the expansion of FP5 fire programs, which really affects folks in unincorporated areas of the county. So a lot of kind of up in the high desert, and we spent a lot of time with that. And it's good to take a break today with Josiah. It's been fun.
Absolutely. And you can definitely get all those different shows as well on uturnradio.com. That's uturnradio.com. And you can get all of our previous shows on there. But today it's really cool that we have Josiah Bruni because he's definitely making a difference here in the Inland Empire and the community. And we are big on this type of stuff. So we were talking about Josiah, his little sister called, shared a cute story with us. But let's talk a little bit more about Music Changing Lives. So you're the founder of Music Changing Lives here in the Inland Empire. You started it. Yes. And what do you guys offer at your organization?
So I have two models. One is a drop-in location that we call a safe haven, where we provide music, art, and instrument instruction, where a kid comes for $20 a month, drops in at the Redlands Community Center, and you can hang out with us all month and create anytime from 2 to 9, Monday through Saturday. And we run all sorts of programs there. And then the second model that we have is what's called our Changing Lives Showcase, which is a replication and a mobile model that we've created where we teach in 21 weeks, kids compete to see who's the best at music and arts. So I bring instructors directly to a school campus. We teach the kids music, dance, art, fashion, and film, and then they compete against their peers to see who's the best at it in the likeness of like America's Got Talent.
Oh, that's really cool. So first of all, you said you provide these services from 2 to 9, and I think that's so key because that's usually, I grew up where both of my parents worked the whole time, so I had to do a lot of after-school programs, or if not, I had my grandma would take care of us. And then that 2 to 9 period is so important because that's when you can start getting in trouble. That's where you're most likely going to be on the street, and that time frame is like key. I feel like
we used to stay open to 10 p.m. and we're pushing for the city to go back to that hour because some parents, as they 10 p.m. and some work until that time frame as well, and we want to service all the kids. But I shout out to the city of Redlands. They're very big and very helpful for all they've done, for us in this community, and it's just amazing. Also, shout out to Pastor Green for Midnight Hoops. We now create a program where kids come every third Friday, and they play hoops from 9 p.m. to midnight with the police department.
Oh,
and
really cool.
You can win money, too.
Yeah, right.
The police tapped out because the guys are so good, so they just hang out and watch and let the kids battle it out now, and it's a beautiful scenario.
There's a lot of talent there, huh?
Oh, for real. Like I just be like standing back and applause, like, okay. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit. The programs, music, they could do anything. Like they can create, record, produce. Like it's just everything.
Everything. You come in and literally you got that hour session, like it's your hour in a real studio, and you get to tell the engineer what you want to create. So when a kid comes to us, the first thing we figure out, okay, what is your dreams? What's your vision? What's your aspiration? And what type projects are we going to create? And then once we put it down on paper, then we start getting them to think about what's your biography? What's your story to the community? Who do you really want people to know you as? And then after that, get them to that digital phase once they have something good, as you'll hear one of our artists today, or a few little girls that we got later on that are pretty hot, and then get them to market and put them on air, get them touring and things like that.
One thing that I really like about that is that in a school system, you come in and you're told essentially what you're going to learn.
Yes.
And the first thing you do is say, what do you want to do?
Exactly.
And obviously school, you have to structure it that way, but it gives somebody an opportunity to say,
who am I?
Yeah.
What do I want in life?
Right. Instead, I got to ingest this.
Right. And that's where I think I call it the multi-level marketing scheme of change. Literally, the way you change a community is find out what they need and then provide them those needs and assets. And that's how we build productive citizens.
I read that, and I think this is really cool, that the people that work with the students too, they're like in the music industry, or they also went to school. So it's like, and they're young too. So it's kind of like the younger teaching, like there's a connection. I feel like it's having like almost like a sister brother bond. I feel like, because I mean, like I said, growing up, I have 2 older sisters, so there was a bond there, and you provide that too with the people that are helping these kids create this music or art and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and it's become like a dynamic duo, to be honest, like, because we all learn from each other, like, really, like, that's the biggest part. And it's always an open book policy, like, or open door policy. So no one's bigger than anybody, but you have a responsibility to do what you're saying you're going to do. So if you come in as an instructor and a mentor, we don't call you a volunteer, you're an actually ambassador. So you know, like, you're here to teach something and to be of excellence in it when you're doing it, and to do it to the highest quality that you can provide. And the key is as well getting that brain power to stay here in our Inland Empire, because once they graduate, most students are running to LA, running to New York, running to Florida to make it. And so we're trying to be that conduit that gives them that same nurturing home to stay right here and keep building budding artists.
That's really cool, because that's true. A lot of people, if you're not in those like key locations, or feel like they can't make it.
Right, and that's not true.
And we learn here at U-Turn. I mean, McDonald's started here in the San Bernardino, and
Stater
I just went.
Brothers.
Yeah, like I just went to the museum, and I was like, this started right here. Like, this is so awesome. So, like, you know, I think that also, like, just saying that type of stuff, like, you can make it from anywhere. And if you live here and you grew up here, like, you could definitely still make it from here.
And then give back to where you came from. Never forget where you came from, who helped you, and how you got there.
True.
Let me ask a little bit question. It has to do with something I picked off, kind of, I think, part of maybe a mission statement. Is that one of the things that you're interested in trying to do is developing emotionally mature through the use of this program, through music, through art, that type of thing. And talk to me a little bit about, okay, so my view of the music industry is, you know, you got the red carpet success,
right.
and then you know, is there a whole lot of success outside of, if you will, of the red carpet? And what does your program do to develop emotionally mature folks that don't go on to the music industry? How does it contribute to their emotional maturity?
Great question. So that's social emotional learning that we're doing right now. And so basically the key to this is saying, okay, let's figure where a child is in the home sake. Where's their parents at? Because some of our parents haven't seen success themselves. So getting their parents engaged and showing them, look, you got to start believing too that your kid can do all things is one. Because if I keep telling a kid you could be whatever you want to be, but then they go home and they're shot down every day, it ain't going to work, right? And so that's where we start off in that point, is getting the parents to get the buy-in. Because most parents bring a kid in, they want Johnny to learn the guitar, learn the piano, and Johnny don't want to do that. And then it becomes some like a fight, you know, and I'm like, just let the kid be a kid. And once a parent sees that, then they kind of start growing the kid in the honor of where they want to go. Once we get that done, then we start teaching the kids, this is how much your parent has paid for you. This is why they care so much for you. And this is why they're so strict with you. You know what I mean? And so I show a kid, you're worth maybe a Bentley, a Maserati, couple mansions.
Okay, sweet. Very good.
So have some respect that, you know, for your parents. And then the kids get it because you put it into a monetary piece. And I do that through this thing called hands-on banking with Wells Fargo, to show them financial literacy, show them what a house really costs, how much you really pay for gas, how much you pay for food, you know, how much you pay for diapers, everything. And I say that too is a deterrent for kids having babies young. Right. I hear a lot of my girls say, hey, I'm cool. My guys say it too. You know, I don't want a kid right now. I'll wait. So those are the one to show them that financial piece. Then to show them the success of the industry, we show them all aspects. We show like, okay, this is what Eminem's doing, this is what 50 Cent's doing. Who's your favorite rapper? Who's your favorite MC? And we make them really learn their history. So then the kid learns how long it took for their artist to become to the level that they're at. So they see, oh, it's not overnight, you know? They see, wow, Jay-Z, you know, was really like 25 still hitting the pavement, and now he's like 40-something and he's just now getting big, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or not getting big, but at the level to where he owns it all and he's really where he wants to be. Then they get that reality. Like, if you're in this, you got to be in it to win it. Then after that, it's like, yo, even if you don't want to be that Jay-Z, you have managers, you have A&Rs, you got executive directors, you got the people that finance it, you have the people that create the clothing, the merchandise. I mean, there's so many jobs in this industry. We show them all of that. And then we show, hey, look, what's your plan B? What's your plan C? What's your plan D? Because in my field, I mean, we're multi-leveled. Like, literally, I have my own water bottle. Like I told you, I said I forgot my water. So I tore off this label. I would have my own water on your show, literally. I got my own jewelry company. I make my own custom jewels. I don't wear other people's things. I have my own shoe line that we're now about to develop. So I'm not going to wear Nike anymore. I'll wear the VV shoes, you know what I mean? And so we show the kids you always have to be multi-layered and multifaceted, but also looking at this industry and saying it's not all about music, and it's not just all about art either. It's about what you can give back and what else you can do. Teaching them commodities, teaching them stocks, you know, bonds, things like that. So we're now teaching our kids real estate. You're going to learn how you can make get you a real estate license, sell real estate. If you don't want to sell the real estate, hey, do the, what is it when they measure the houses? Appraisals. Yeah. You know what I mean? Be the person that signs the document, your notary, right? And show them you can make money in this industry and good money.
Right.
And you don't have to be an MC.
I think that's so key because I feel like, especially the music industry, as soon as you say music industry, you automatically think singer, rapper. And if you cannot sing like myself, I mean, you know, so there's so many different outlets that you're right. Like, I never knew how many different things took to create an artist, and that's really big too. So being exposed to all these different things, I think, is so key, and things that they don't teach you at school. Like at school, it's always just your regular like doctor, fireman, policeman, you know, that type of stuff. But to go into something that's more arts that you can create a living out of is major for sure. So I think that's really cool.
And being independent as well. I mean, look at you guys. You created your own TV show. You're your own market now. Shout out to CNBC for giving you the platform, but you took the reins and you're making your show happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go into you brought music with you.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit before we play that. Who is it? How did you guys create this song?
So there's 3 little girls, and to be honest, I haven't met them all. I just met the one young lady that convened them, Tiana, and my engineer called me one day and was like, you have to hear this song. And I'm on the road in Arizona, and I hear the song. I'm like, it's just amazing. And so now we're trying to figure a name for the girls and everything, but it's really positive, and I think you're going to like it.
How old are the girls?
I say between 8 and 10, 8 and 12.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and they're very dynamic young ladies that are positive. You know, they're trying to make their mom proud, you know, and they're trying to end this negative connotation of you have to be sassy and fast, you know what I mean? And I just love it, the message.
So cute. So let's go on and play it. Is there a name for this song? What's the name of the... You want to introduce
no name right now either. It's brand new, straight off the market.
Like I love it.
The mom is even trying to think of the group name and all that.
We're breaking new music.
Storm is the name of the song. Yeah.
But we always sit them out. Stop talking when I'm teaching. This is class. Close your mouth. The speaker has class, but she run her mouth. Can't come to my daddy's house. He punch you out. Put him out, and we be laughing out loud. All my girls got beat. Tech divas in the house. We in the house. Confident and creative. And yeah, we make our mommies proud. Keep our head out the cloud. London rain through the top. Night is thunder and she loud. And night is shining. Wipe me down. Wipe her down. Said we shine and wipe me down. Wipe me down. Rain and thunder through the crowd. The storm is here. Now watch us, now watch us, now watch us grow. Watch it grow. The storm is here. Now watch us, now watch us, now watch us grow. Watch it grow. Watch me grow. Tech divas in the house. We in the house. Tech divas in the house. We in the house. Got talents in the science and the arts and the math. Check out the e-commerce, got them bombs for your back. Do the math. Don't be hating on the crew. Team fly, we fly high, so should you. Jet skiing through that ocean. God fearing with devotion. God willing, see promotion. And yeah, we focus London rain with the flips. Nine with the twist, a nine with the dip. We slip sink ships. And we ain't tryna drown. Nah, by hanging with them clowns. Nah, we be walking on water, team fearless off the boat. Spreading hope because it's dope, even better with a coat. Doing business, watch me grow. Product placement with the girls. No more clowns, it ain't a joke. The storm is here, watch it grow. The storm is here. Watch it, now watch it grow. The storm is here. Now watch it grow. Now watch it grow. Tech divas in the house. We in the house. Tech divas in the house. We in the house. Watch it grow. Hey, watch us grow. Watch it grow. Hey, watch us grow.
I think so. She's there? Oh.
That was Storm. Some of the students that attend Music Changing Lives.
Yes.
That was so cute.
Yes,
That's really, really cute. And listening to that, you can definitely hear the production. Like, that's a real song. That could be played on the radio. Well, it's being played on the radio, but like that's like legit a song.
Right. And
that's
the mom
so good.
like that wrote the song and helped make it with him, and she's so energetic. Like, and she just came in again. She seen me in the art lab one day. She was like, "I got some really good ideas. I need help." I was like, "Let's do it. Let's make it happen." And then it happened.
I love how anybody that calls you and says, "I need help," you're like, "Let's do it. Let's go." Speaking of let's do it, let's go to the phone line. We have their mom on the phone. Hello, welcome to U-Turn.
Hi, how are you guys? This is Tiana.
Hi, Tiana. Tiana, was that was your song then, right?
Those are my daughters, my daughter and my nieces.
Oh, okay, that was so good. That's really, really good.
Thank you so much.
She's being humble. She wrote that song. Mom wrote the song for the girls.
You see, but even that is so good. There's bonding time with your kid, and it's something fun. It's cool. Then you get to actually see your creation.
Goosebumps thinking of it.
Like, that's amazing.
It's actually, and these are things that they do. Like, you know, my daughter, she's a part of a mini mogul club that teaches youth entrepreneurship, so like, you know, social and business entrepreneurship. But they do bath bombs. They learn about e-commerce. They go jet skiing. You know, they want to start a jet skiing program where they, you know, bring other girls out to the beach and to the marine and, you know, kind of snorkel, learn about the sea life there. My daughter is always into insects and wildlife, so the girls are always busy. I wish they could actually call in today, but they're supporting one of the group members, which is my niece, Nye. You can follow her on her Instagram at Nye, N-I-Y, Bug, B-U-G, 2007. She's actually running the walking the runway of one of the LA fashion shows this evening, so they're out supporting
that's
that.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. How did you guys get involved with Music Changing Lives?
So I learned about Music Changing Lives. I seen a post looking for ambassadors, as the site would say, you know, for a program called Music Changing Lives. I wanted to find out more about the program, and so my daughter actually began taking piano lessons at the Redlands Center in Redlands, California, here in the IE. And we just learned about all the other programs he had, and my daughter said she wanted to start, you know, recording some songs. She thinks she can sing, so we're going to try to work on her vocal skills. But they're all, just talented, you know, they promote, we promote, like, just new concepts, like I said, like the entrepreneurship, but we want them to have fun. We want them, they're always learning. You know, we try to build in them, like, work ethics, confidence, skill building. So everything in alignment to what Josiah and the Music Changing Lives program is all about. So it's definitely in alignment with some of my personal goals, but also it's a good interest of the girls. They really like this kind of stuff.
That's awesome. And to have a mom support is always super key.
Especially because she said, we want them to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, that's great. It's not about necessarily success or anything. We want them to have fun.
Tiana, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your story.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me and the opportunity. Thank you, Josiah, for programming.
Don't hang up yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Keep promoting.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tiana, since you called in, we'll spin the wheel. So we'll spin the wheel for you.
Okay.
So Tom, you want to go ahead and here at U-Turn Radio, we spin the wheel for charities in our local community. Anywhere functioning here in the Inland Empire, we would love to spin the wheel. So you guys can always call in.
Thank you, U-Turn Radio.
Okay, as this spins, what's your favorite charity?
My favorite favorite charity, I would say it would have to be Mini Mogul Club. We had a 4-week entrepreneur class this summer. They learned a lot of stuff. We're trying to do one for the Christmas break and the Thanksgiving break. So I would say Mini Mogul Club.
Okay.
Awesome.
Very good. And on your behalf, U-Turn Radio will donate $1,200. Don't hang up the phone. Joe will take your information and we'll get in contact with you tomorrow and get the information on the organization from you.
Thank you so much. And I have to pay dues where dues is owed, so I want to share that with Music Changing Lives as well too. So thank you guys again for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for calling in.
Thank you for calling in. That's so awesome that the parents really also support Music Changing Lives, because that's, like you said, it's so important. It can't just be one person doing it for a few hours and then the kid going back to home and not having that same support from their parents.
All right. Yeah, because, I mean, it just deters the whole system that you're trying to build. It's like if you're trying to build a house on weak foundation. That's kind of what was taught in my home.
So right now I feel like it's very popular. You have more kids. You've been doing this for a while. But when you first started, how many kids really showed up when you were?
Man, 3. I remember, and it's so funny. Like every time I would start a new program, only 3 kids would show up, and so I was like, if I didn't have 3 kids show up, or if like 10 showed up, then I'd be like, oh, it's not gonna work.
Right.
So every time I start something, like the first 3 would start for the first few years, and then it just blew up after that. Yeah.
That's awesome, because I can only imagine, like, when you're first starting something and it's only 3, and then to get this type of feedback, you know, and to change so many people's lives, like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Like,
that's why I tear up.
Am I gonna make you cry?
No, not right now. I'm over it. We have my cry for the day, but no, but really, that's that emotion of being able to know, like, literally, it was just a dream. I don't know if I said in the beginning, like I woke up after one of our shows. I was at the Latin Music Awards, actually, with Jennifer Lopez. I'm with, Maná, and a lady asked me, like, what are you doing here? And then I'm like, ¿Cómo está, señorita? Mi nombre es V. Dejo comprar uno, dos bebidas. And she's just like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I speak French, Spanish, da-da-da-da. This is my dream. And then she's like, well, what's next? And I didn't have an answer for that.
Right.
And then after that, I had the vision of this is what we should be doing.
Nice. So back to my question, how does it make you feel? I'm not trying to make you cry, but I really want to know, like, to know that you're changing, like, children's lives. Like, that's so big. And do you have kids right now? I do. I got a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, 2 boys. And then my godson, that's 14, yeah. But you've been doing that way before them, too. So, I'm pretty sure now it's even more personal because now you have your own kids and that type of stuff. But how does it really feel to know that you have been instrumental to these kids and changing their lives and, like, trying to do, like, they're doing better because of what you're doing? It's so humbling. Like, honestly, a lot of creators do not get to live out their dream. Right. And so I take that serious. And I'm just so humbled every day I wake up and I live my dream. So that's the feeling for me of appreciation. I mean, I'm so appreciative of, like, my sponsors, my staff, anyone that's encouraged us to keep going. Because, like I said, it's been a long road, 20 years, and putting your own money where your mouth is. Like, we contribute about $250,000 a year. And so as a business, I say it all the time. I say some businesses start to keep money and keep it in, but then others raise money to really change lives and give it out. And so to be able to do that every year, I'm always humbled and thankful for, like, my sponsors. Shout out to, like, AT&T, San Manuel, Wells Fargo, those type people that have, like, really bought into the vision and said, we're sticking it out with you. Guys like U-Turn Radio, I mean, like, you just blessed right now, $2,800 in the community. Like, that's huge. Like, to be a part of that is, like, it's just amazing. More people should be doing what we're doing, humbly speaking, and the world will be a better place. So absolutely. I feel like I'm doing my part. Right before we start the show, we were talking off the air, and you guys are going to build a mural. Is that right? Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about that? So we have this mural that we're looking to paint into the Redlands Community Center called A Common Vision, and basically of unity, showing, like, our leaders, like Dolores Horte, who was a woman that celebrated or helped to get women rights pushed out here in the Inland Empire heavily, getting Israel Bill honored, a gentleman that was freed from the mass
Emancipation Proclamation that built up what's now known as the Lagonia area. I mean, and just celebrate those individuals that have done this far before myself, and then also do some that create a learning of who created basketball, who created foosball, and things like that.
That's so great. What is there? Do you want to share anything upcoming that you guys have over at Music Changing Lives?
Man, the biggest thing that we got coming right now is our Random Act of Kindness toy drive. It's going to be happening every month. Our first one is going to launch October 28th, where we'll be blessing kids with about 10,000 toys from Spin Master. Shout out to Spin Master. Thank y'all for your support. Then we have our Lights On After School event coming up October 26th. We'll be celebrating keeping lights on for 10 years here in Redlands. And then lastly, November 17th, our 20th anniversary, we'll be celebrating with First Five and Inland Empire Community Collaborative, our 20th anniversary here with Music Changing Lives, and then 20 years with First Five California, being in San Bernardino.
That's amazing. So that's going to wrap it up for us. But before that, we want to thank you for being with us, and we really appreciate it. We're going to spin the wheel for Music Changing Lives since you're here with us this Sunday. Thank you so much.
1,300.
So you get 1,300 for Music Changing Lives. Josiah, Bernie, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it, and thank you for all the work you're doing here in our community. That wraps it up for us here at U-Turn. Thank you so much for being with us this Sunday.
U-Turn Radio. Thank you, Nadia and Tom.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.